detail.
Okay, another question here. By the way, if you've got questions, just go ahead and step right up and we'll call. Let me take one more and then we'll do one here. Why did God put the tree of good and evil in the Garden of Eden and Eve took the fruit from it? So why did, it's the knowledge of good and evil, why did God put that tree there?
Yes, this is a question about the mystery of iniquity, okay? This is what the scriptures tell us. God put the tree there. He doesn't make robots, he makes volitional beings. Even the angels are volitional beings. They could choose to serve and obey God and worship God or worship themselves and the devil. But he puts the tree there as a moral obligation to say, I'm God and you're not.
That's right.
I love you. I'll give you everything, and I'm giving you a choice to obey me or a choice to obey self and Satan. Now, we know that they made the wrong choice, but this is the way I think of it. Yes, God knew everything. Yes, God knew they were going to sin. Even the plan of evil was in the mind of God, though he had nothing to do with the doing of evil. All right? Now, people have argued these things forever. Go back to St. Augustine and the 1st, 2nd century church fathers. Well, how can a holy God even put something in people, an inclination to make a choice to even be able to do evil? I don't know. I don't know. It must have to do with free will somehow. It must have to do with free will to be able to make that choice. But I do know this, that if God willed it, it's God's best. If God said it, he makes the rules. I'm glad he does. I'm glad that he's God and I'm not him. And I'm thankful that I know Jesus Christ, and I'm also thankful that you know Jesus Christ, and I'm also thankful that anybody can call on the name of the Lord and be saved. I'm thankful that the scriptures say in Acts 17 that God's not far from any one of us. He feels after us. We just need to feel a little bit after him. God's not hiding out from anybody. He wants everybody to be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. But even though this plan was in effect from the beginning for free will in the fall, the plan of Jesus, Romans chapter 5, coming into the world and taking upon the sin of the world was also in the plan of God. If you want to read more about the whys of all these things, there's a great book by Jonathan Edwards. It's edited by John Piper. It's very difficult reading. I had to read one chapter for 44 times before I knew what he was talking about, just to interpret the words of Jonathan Edwards. It's called The Ends for Which God Created the World. And it talks about that God's going to be glorified in all of his attributes. He's going to be glorified in his justice. He's going to be glorified in his wrath. He's going to be glorified in his mercy. He's going to be glorified in his grace. He's going to be glorified in all those things. And even though he's glorified in his justice and wrath, doesn't mean that makes him happy that he's glorified in those attributes, but because that's who he is, he's going to be glorified in those attributes.